Hello, this is Jason Scianno with Limitless Wellness and Neurofeedback. This video is a culmination of about 6 weeks of my journals from March, April, and I wanted to share it with you because I think it really does a good job of wrapping up my philosophy of MBS theory, mind, body, self, into a really unified, educational, simple way to understand.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a concept that might genuinely change the way you move through your entire week. We're looking at something called the April Reset, and let me tell you, it is an absolutely profound antidote to modern burnout. If you've ever felt like you're doing literally everything you're supposed to be doing, but you still feel completely underwater, yeah, this explainer is specifically for you. We're going to break down how to stop chasing this illusion of progress and start building genuine, quiet momentum.
Seriously, ask yourself, are you building a life or just spinning in circles? Because so many of us are trapped in this relentless, exhausting mode. The source material refers to this energy as the taskmaster. It's that constant, frantic forward lean. You know the feeling, right? It's the voice demanding we clean, organize, prep, and do the very next thing before the current thing has even finished existing. It's efficient, sure. It's productive, absolutely. But man, it is relentless. It demands constant output, and honestly, it just leaves us completely drained. We think we're moving forward, but really, we're just spinning fast enough to avoid ourselves.
Okay, let's dive into this. This is the trap perfectly outlined. The illusion of progress. It is the exhaustion of modern productivity. It's having endless mental tabs open. Like you're standing in the kitchen, fridge open, 5 projects running in your brain, holding a coffee you don't even remember pouring. It's moving incredibly fast, but without any actual direction. It's trying to force clarity and somehow solve your entire life before 7 a.m. And it's that dangerous all-or-nothing thinking. We tell ourselves, I need a complete life cleanse today, instead of just, drinking a glass of water. This is what the source material calls false fire. It burns a ton of energy, but it gives you zero clarity.
Section 1. Mind, Body, and Self. The NBS Approach.
Okay, let's take a breath and slow things down. What's absolutely crucial to understand here is that this isn't some rigid academic theory you have to memorize. Not at all. It is a grounded experiential toolkit for everyday life. It's a literal lifeline for slowing down, regulating your nervous system, and just reconnecting with yourself. It's built for those exact moments when you're overwhelmed, anxious, or just plain stuck. It's about taking small, manageable steps that actually move you forward, rather than big, dramatic leaps that, let's face it, usually just lead to another crash.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the framework actually operates. First, we have the mind. This is all about awareness. It's noticing the story you're actively telling yourself. Are you stuck replaying the past? Are you super anxious about the future? Next is the body. This is regulation. Your body is constantly sending signals. Maybe a tight chest, shallow breathing, or just deep fatigue. Your body might be quietly whispering, hey, we need to dial it back slightly, but your mind is screaming, go harder. And finally, the self. This is the choice. Once you've noticed the mind's story and regulated the body's signal, you ask yourself, what matters most right now? What is one small, grounded action I can take in that direction? The three work perfectly together to just completely intercept the chaos.
Section 2. The Daily Anchor. 3 simple steps.
So how do we actually put this into practice? Well, here are 3 incredibly simple yet totally profound steps. Number 1, notice the signal. Actually name the strain you're feeling. Number 2, slow down, regulate your system. And number 3, choose the next right step, not the next 50 steps, literally just the next one. The absolute core lesson here is that regulation must happen before action. If you try to take action while your nervous system is completely fried and in chaos, you're just going to create more chaos. You don't need to fix everything at once. You just need to take the very next steady step.
In fact, let's do a micro reset together right now, right in the middle of this explainer. Take a second. Notice your shoulders. Are they creeping up by your ears? Drop them. Take a slow inhale through your nose and a nice long exhale through your mouth. Feel your feet flood on the floor. That's it. That is the work. It doesn't have to be some intense 60-minute meditation retreat. It can literally be 3 seconds of stopping the constant input so your system can just land.
Now, let's see how this builds into our broader lives. On one hand, we have chaotic expansion.
This is exactly what happens when we skip that daily anchor. We chase every single opportunity, we drastically overcommit, and we try to force outcomes even when our bodies are completely running on empty. We feel a burst of good energy, so we expand rapidly, and then, boom, our system crashes. But on the other hand, we have grounded expansion, and this is the true goal of the April reset. You build steadily, you work from a place of presence, you let things grow naturally without forcing them. The daily anchor is pretty much the only way to stay on that path of grounded expansion.
Section 3. Completion over perfection. The endless tweak trap.
Just let that quote sink in for a second. You can polish a moment until it forgets why it existed. Wow. Have you ever worked on a project or an email or a presentation and you just kept tweaking it over and over, trying to make it absolutely flawless until it completely lost its original spark? The source material hits the nail on the head here. Perfectionism is a trap. It completely drains our momentum. It stops our work from ever becoming real because we are just so terrified of it not being quote-unquote right.
The best antidote to that perfectionism is right here, the one-folder rule. Pick one thing, finish it, close it. Think of our minds like computers. When we have a dozen half-finished projects, they act like background apps, just constantly draining our battery and eating up our RAM. Every single time you start something without finishing it, you're opening a new folder. The one-folder rule is your sovereign self stepping in and saying, okay, stop opening new folders, let's close the ones that are already open. This is exactly how you stop your mind from leaking power.
So the crucial point really comes down to this. Act, complete, and move on. Done and out there in the real world beats perfect and stuck every single time. And here's a huge one, probably the hardest one for a lot of us. Don't reopen completed work. The source notes that so many of us have this terrible habit of finishing something, finally closing it, and then immediately reopening the lid to second-guess it. Are you going to keep looking for a reason to doubt yourself, or are you going to close the lid and trust the path you're walking? Trust that what you did is enough. True productivity doesn't come from just doing more. It comes from knowing exactly when to stop.
Section 4. Building quiet momentum. The ultimate destination.
Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it looks like quietly choosing to continue. What a phenomenal realization. Progress doesn't have to be frantic or exhausting to be real. You don't have to throw a parade for every tiny win or declare some massive life-altering turning point. Sometimes, the absolute most profound growth is simply setting down all those heavy expectations, noticing your current state, and just quietly choosing to stay in the mile you are currently in. It's about stability. It's about clarity. And it's about trusting the slow, natural unfolding of your life without trying to force the whole shebang.
And that leaves us with one final, super important thought to close out this explainer. What is your next right step? Not your next 5-year plan, not how you're going to somehow fix your entire life before tomorrow morning. Just right now, in your body, in this exact moment. Notice the signal. Slow down. What is the next simple, grounded choice you can make today? Take that step, close the folder, and go build your quiet momentum.
Slow down, regulate, and reconnect with yourself.